In every tanker's life, there are at least a few vehicles that he or she most certainly never played. These are the reserves. Most of us only used a couple of them to burn through the lowest of ranks as quickly as possible. But when you've cleared thousands of battles on top vehicles, there is sometimes this longing to go back to the very beginning, to the sandbox that knows nothing of APDS or ATGMs. Oh, those were the simpler times. If you know what we're talking about, here's the most nostalgic and wholesome top 5 of them all. Top 5 Reserve Tanks. Just in case, reserve tanks are vehicles with BR 1.0 that are available to every player from the start. They come with a free slot and unlimited repairs, so you can just hop in and go and wreck things. Okay, let's go. Number 5, the LVT A1. This light American tank is the biggest reserve vehicle in the game. Just look at that size. A roomy compartment allows you to survive a lot of hits, but at the same time, your bulkiness makes it impossible to peek, as your turret bearing a 37mm gun is positioned almost in the center of the hull. To shoot at an enemy, you have to get most of your machine out of cover, and thus makes your driver vulnerable to enemy fire. By the way, the LVT is capable of swimming. It's not the fastest of swimmers, yes, but with it you can take shots at enemies even from the middle of a lake, if you want. And with considerable precision, given that you have a single plane stabilizer installed. Number 4. The M1343. This one comes from Italy. At first glance, it might seem like an Italian tech tree has 2 exact copies of the same machine. But don't rush to conclusions. This version has vastly superior reload speed. It almost is 2 times faster, around 3 seconds. It also might be the most balanced vehicle in our top 5. Passable armor, okay mobility, decent gun, no big flaws. See? Number 3, the Type 89B Eagle Go. It's like a steampunk dream come alive, on tracks with a battery of guns. It barely moves, has next to no armor, and the crew is sitting so tightly that they might as well be hugging each other. How can this monstrosity make it to the list, you ask? It's simple. It's all about that gun. The excellent 57mm cannon with killer shots. Its HE shells have around 5 times more explosive matter than any shell of any other nation at this rank. 103 grams. And more than 300 grams in its heats. By the way, it's the only reserve tank with access to heat rounds. Number 2, the M2A4. This American light tank is one of the fastest reserve vehicles in the game. No profile, good mobility. What does it matter if it has rubbish armor? Try to hit it first, mate, especially if it's on the move. Its 37mm gun can fire pretty good AP shots and comes with a shoulder-stop gun stabilizer that allows for some precision gunfire. That's hardly enough firepower for an American vehicle, so you also get machine guns. Lots of them. They're everywhere. On your turret, on your hull, on the roof. 5 in total. 7.62mm caliber each. You can use them to literally saw enemy SPAAGs in half. Before we name our top pick, here is a small special mention. The French H-35. Here's the definitive list of its strengths. 1. It's the most well-armored reserve tank in the game. That's it. Yeah, that's about right. French engineers be trolling all they want, but we absolutely had to mention this little fella. You're perfect to us. Finally, number 1. It's the BT-5. This Soviet machine is highly mobile and packs quite a punch. It carries a 45mm gun with 2 types of shells, HE rounds and solid shots. What's important to mention is that you probably won't need the latter. Its HE shot can pierce almost any target at its rank, and when it goes boom inside, that's the end of story for most opponents. It's quite speedy as well. Just look at it go. Jokes aside, the BT-5 is probably the scariest opponent you might encounter at this rank. If you fail to destroy it with your first shot, you probably won't get a second chance. This is a true reserve champion. Do you remember the reserves that you started with? Share your memories in the comments below, and see you in battle.